College Basketball Live Scoreboard is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond.
Oklahoma and Portland in the PK 80. Trae Young to Kadeem Lattin. Oh, great point guard. Nice player there. Oklahoma up 11. Christian James then to Young ahead for the lay-in. Oklahoma, they can play now.
They can play, and so can Trae Young, one of the best freshmen in the country. You'll be hearing more about him as the season goes on. He's electric.
One of the top point guards in the country coming out of high school. True freshman, had 33 points and 8 assists. They put up 93 on Portland. Jonathan Williams, the former Mizzou Tiger, coming off a 21-point outing against Ohio State, averaging 13 a game. Senior forward with that great experience from a season ago for Gonzaga. What kind of role can he play in a game like this against Florida?
He's got to play a big role because, like we talked about with Chioza and that Florida team, they're very veteran-laden in their backcourt, but so is Gonzaga. And for Williams, really, he's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to be able to score for them on that wing position. He's shooting over 50% from the 3 and from the 2. He's been very efficient. He can go inside and out. He's got to help them on the glass and find a way to help break down that Florida defense, which Florida is a good defensive team. They can force you to turnovers, but again, veteran backcourt for Gonzaga. They need to take care of the ball and then have a guy like Williams that can score off the wing for them.
You got Gonzaga, that big, long, active zone they can play on defense. Florida has put up 108 points 3 times this season. They've cracked that. Now, again, not against great teams. What do you think happens here tonight? Make the call.
I think Florida wins this game, but I think it's going to be a tight game and hopefully the highlight game of the day right now. So everybody out there enjoy it. It should be a fun up-and-down game with veterans.
Looking forward to it. Top 20 matchup, Doug and Dan on the call. We'll see it happen.
Sounds good, Matt. Should be fun indeed. We've got number 7 Florida against number 17 Gonzaga in the PK 80. This for a spot in the championship on Sunday. We've got some big stars here in this tournament, and on the semifinal round, we have seen Luke May for the defending national champion North Carolina Tar Heels continue to blossom into a superstar. And the Duke Blue Devils, meanwhile, number 1 in the country, they already have this superstar, the terrific freshman Marvin Bagley III, 34 points, a new career high. Duke survives a thriller as part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's. You're watching the PK 80 presented by State Farm. Duke, with that overtime win, will get either the Gators or the Bulldogs. We've got 40 minutes of basketball upcoming, and it should be lots of fun. Duke awaits either number 7 or number 17 for the Motion Bracket Championship. And welcome everybody to Portland. Doug Sherman along with Dan Dockich. So glad you could be with us tonight for a matchup of 2 teams, Dan, who last night in the quarterfinal round were brilliant, especially on the offensive end.
They were unbelievable. Think about this, 13 of 17. That's what Florida shot. You can't do that in a locked gym by yourself. And then after that, Gonzaga just unloaded as well. You see 12 of 25. It was just tremendous. I mean, tremendous shooting. These 2 teams like to get up and down the floor. Great guard play on both. But this kid right here, Igor Kulichev, is fantastic. Transfer from Rice, scored over 1,000 and grabbed over 500 rebounds for Rice. 5th-year transfer, just does things effortlessly. He can play all over the court. And last night, Josh Perkins unloaded at the end of the half against Ohio State. The game was going along 31-30, and then he just started making shots and getting the crowd into it. Make no mistake, home game right here for the Zags.
The Zags are in the black, the Gators are in the orange, and we are underway. Gonzaga comes into this game through 4 games this season, averaging 92 points a night. Florida is averaging 100.5 per game.
I talked to Mike White back in the tunnel. I said, man, you the shooting coach? He goes, yeah, but I need to be the defensive coach tonight. He doesn't think his team's very good defensively. Well, I don't think they're bad through 6 guys.
Well, Corey Kispert, coming off a big second half last night, gets it started with a 3 ball here tonight.
0 in the first half, and Kispert started out the second half and continued with a great offensive second half.
Well, the Bulldogs are at 41% as a team from beyond the arc this year. Florida, nearly 50%. They're 47 collectively.
One of the reasons is they'll move the ball. You see right now 4 guys have touched it. That's good defense by the Zags. Really good defense by the Zags. There was no penetration, and then got up and challenged the jump shot.
Here is Perkins, number 13 in black, the redshirt junior from Park Hill, Colorado, who makes them go. Step back three. And you know what? Killian Tilly was extremely good last night.
I think he's just a very good all-around player. Like, he's a guy, you say, what does he do? Well, he can shoot it. He's got a nice post move, got a nice jump hook. He can rebound. He rebounds at the top of his outstretched arms, which is not the easiest thing, and not everybody does, which makes him much taller, even though he's about 6'10".
Yeah, the young Frenchman comes in averaging over 11 points and 9 rebounds per game. He went for 8 and 11 in the win over the Buckeyes last night. He gets 1 of 2 from the stripe. Florida again tonight going with a 4-guard offense to start, including Kayvon Allen.
Kayvon Allen just played harder right there offensively than Gonzaga played defensively. Gonzaga thought they were going to slow it down. No, Kayvon Allen just whipped it and went and scored.
Jonathan Williams flashes to take the pass out front and puts it on the floor. Silas Melson for 3.
Great play by Williams. A lot of guys would have shot over a stacked defense. He made the game simple. He just turned, looked, found Melson. Melson drilled it.
Melson 7 of 18 this year. He's the hometown boy from Portland out of Jefferson High School. And as Dan said, this is no question a partisan crowd rooting for Gonzaga. Tough pass. Perkins seemed to anticipate Kispert was going to keep coming.
You know, that went through 3 guys. It went past Williams, Kispert, and Melson was down on that end. You're going to see some pretty nice passing. Right here, just fast to the rim, and that is not an easy shot that Allen knocked in.
I keep thinking, Dan, when I watch Kayvon Allen play, here he goes again, he's smooth.
Very. Very. He's one of those guys that coaches get on because it doesn't seem like he's going that hard, but he is. He's just smooth. You're right.
No reason for Mike White to get on Kayvon Allen right now. The third-year head coach out of Ole Miss has this Florida program right back where it was under Billy Donovan.
Huge fan. Huge fan of Mike White. He has a great staff. He is basketball junkie. Darius Nichols on his staff, Jordan Mincy, Dusty May, just basketball guys.
And there's Mark Few, who is 32-8 all-time in Thanksgiving week tournaments. That's pretty good. 5 tournaments in that time.
Is 32-8 a better winning percentage than he has overall? I mean, he wins 82% of the time. That's not fair. He doesn't have enough misery in his life.
You're right. Any way we go with the splits for his career numbers, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Like, he's 87-3 on Saturdays.
Gonzaga 4-0 on the young season, same as Florida.
Mike White thanked me yesterday. Kavarius Hayes is in the game. He got suspended. Mike White, I got Florida fans all over me. Mike White said thank you for ripping him on TV. We showed it to him. And right there, Jonathan Williams is just a tough matchup. Hayes in the game after being suspended. He just whipped Hayes.
Ball poked away. Gonzaga doing a nice job so far on Kulichov, who last night, 4 minutes into the game, already had 9 points. Williams the steal. And he was hit from behind.
Oh, man. This going up.
Kulichov halfway down and then out.
That's just bad luck. That's what I said yesterday. Everything was going in, right? You don't make everything 2 days in a row.
Williams faces up, puts it up, around and out. Both rims a little tight here in the early going. 9-4 Zags. Here goes Kulichov. Tough spacing in there.
Well, Hayes had a shot twice. Now he gets a 3-second violation.
Little chase down action here.
Man, Hayes is hustling. Williams thought he eliminated the only defender, and great hustle by Hayes. Man, that was not only blocked, that was swatted.
You know why he says he wears number 13?
Because Andrew Dockage does at Ohio State, and he wants to be like him.
Exactly wrong.
Okay.
He's not superstitious. He was a big fan growing up with the Gators, and he loved Mike Miller and Joakim Noah. So he said, I want to wear number 13. Pass goes out of bounds, untouched, and it's a turnover. Quick start for the Zags, up 5 early in this semifinal game. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800 State Farm, and in part by Want It All. Want It All from Nike Basketball. The Zags with an early 5-point lead over the Gators, and this Florida offense, which was near perfection last night, suffering through some turnovers early here tonight, Dan.
Yeah, they did. But I'll tell you what, they made up for this one with some hustle and get in the air and get sped up. Chris Chiozza doesn't really do that, but he did there. And when you get sped up, jump up, you got a problem. I would expect that number to be no more than 11, even though they have 3 right now.
Well, the Gators have been efficient, if nothing else, and that stems from their senior point guard from Memphis, Tennessee, Chris Chiozza.
Chiozza has taken the team over. No more Casey Hill to split time with. I think he's riding a little confidence from last year's NCAA tournament.
I like the way that Williams is connected with Perkins. The two of them absolutely know where the other's going to be.
You're so right, and I like the way that Williams takes his time. There's so many big guys get the ball in a great spot, and they get rushed. Williams does not allow anybody to rush him. And he went with a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left-handed Bob Lanier hook. When's the last time you saw a hook?
A legit, true classic hook? Long time ago.
Long time.
He does have kind of the old man game in him.
He's got long arms, willing approach.
Rui Hachimura has checked in for Gonzaga.
He got it going late yesterday. He started making threes. Game was over, but he showed that he can shoot the basketball.
Here he is with the ball, being guarded by Gorjak Gak. Hachimura on the offensive glass and the putback.
Hey, Hachimura can really rebound. Like, he is a built kid, big in the shoulders, long arms. He got that out of area and just quickly jumped up, laid it in. The problem you have if you're Florida is where are you going on the block? You know, things aren't going great on the perimeter today so far. So where are you going on the block? And I think you've got to do it this way, drive it.
Stone from the corner. He's got a 3.
Yeah, you can't let Chiozza into the middle of the lane. Chiozza in the middle is always going to find either down opposite or wing opposite.
Coming up on ESPN, next door we've got UConn in the victory bracket, taking on the 4th-ranked Michigan State Spartans. Can UConn take down Coach Izzo's club?
Well, I'm obligated to always say that Michigan is the greatest team in the history of basketball, because if you don't, the Sparty Nation whines like no other.
Okay.
So I will say, well, there is one other, the Big Blue Nation. So I will say, oh, they're the greatest of all time. That's my standard line.
All right.
I think they'll win, but I do think that Michigan State has to show that they can shoot the ball. And Matt McQuaid's shot it yesterday was terrific.
And again, as our college basketball insider Jeff Goodman reported within the hour, Miles Bridges, the preseason National Player of the Year, will return to the Michigan State lineup tonight.
Be interesting. You know, he hasn't practiced really, and he obviously didn't play. Be interesting to see how that goes, because as I said, Matt McQuaid got a chance and really knocked some shots out. 6 threes yesterday.
Fight for the basketball comes to the hands of Stone.
Now you got to get this ball reversed and keep the action going.
Chiozza probing, turns over one shoulder, drops it off. Gak regathers, plenty of time on the shot clock. Kulichov has yet to find the range.
And the reason was he backed out of that to the right. He did not stay into his shot and go forward.
7 minutes in. Larson misses on the jump hook.
This is where I think, again, if the ball stops, it doesn't work out well. Just go attack and do that. That's really good basketball.
That's a big-time move.
It is, and that's how Florida is going to score in this game. Against half court with no post play and as quick as Gonzaga is, it's going to be hard. So you get it, you keep the ball humming, you keep it popping, and then you drive it.
Well, Kayvon Allen has been right in the middle of a 7-0 Gators run.
There's nothing not to like about Kayvon Allen. Remember last year, 35 against Wisconsin in that epic game? He just dropped off a little no-looker. And give Gak credit. Gak has gone ahead, caught the ball, laid it in, made a jump hook. Anything they get out of him offensively is terrific.
Nobody picked him up. Melson took the shot. Hayes going to work on the post.
Tough shot, he nailed it.
Sure did. Jalen Hudson, the junior from Richmond, Virginia, is on the board, and we're tied at 13.
Jalen Hudson can flat score. 18 points a night here, transferred from Virginia Tech.
Quickly up ahead, Hayes gathers, lays it in. The Gators keep rolling.
I don't understand the run by Norvell Jr. Like, how do you just run by a guy? Guys do that now in basketball. It's a great catch and a fantastic finish. But, man, you got to foul him, knock him down, something.
Pick and roll that Tilly never saw coming until it was too late. Well, the Zags now down early, but that's not been the MO for Coach Few. In November, we'll break that down for you when we come back. Number 7, Florida, with a 2-point lead over number 17, Gonzaga. But the Bulldogs are not used to losing basketball games at this time of year. Last 5 seasons, Gonzaga has won 3 championships. Old Spice, NIT season tip-off, and Advocare last year, mixed in with the 5th place and 3rd place finish. And during that time and going back through Coach Few's tenure, 38-2.
I told you, I gave you 38-2 earlier. Look, they are a rush the court team, meaning you beat them at home, everybody rushes the court. And so for people that say, well, they play in a league that isn't that tough and blah, 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 blah. No, you see what they do against the best of the best. And if you know basketball at all and you're watching this game, you know this is a legitimate big-time team, big-time program.
And, you know, they started the run really in 1999, and for the first few years of that, you could say, well, as Hudson makes a tremendous move to the bucket, you could say maybe they didn't have as much talent as some of the big boys. They now, and for many years, have had the talent. They got pros out there.
Oh, they got pros. And look, they have, even if they're not pros. And again, what's the definition of a pro? Is it an NBA guy or is it whatever it is? But let me put it to you this way. All of these guys can play against anybody. Like, individually against anybody. Whoever the first-round pick, Bagley, I'll take Jonathan Williams playing against him and playing well against him.
Well, the Zags, for the moment, have gone stone cold, now scoreless for about 3.5 minutes, during which time Florida has rattled off 11 points in a row.
Florida's a hard cover. You know, Florida drives it, finds it, and then on the defensive end, you look out here, there's no real size. I mean, not anything where you go, wow, that guy's slow. It's all quickness, and it's all great body. These kids have fantastic physiques. What that enables you to do is be strong and guard a variety of positions.
And isn't that kind of the Golden State Warriors effect?
Yes, absolutely. There isn't a guy out there right now that can't shoot the basketball for Florida. And I would say there's only really one out there. Jonathan Williams isn't a great shooter from distance, but he's a great inside player. So everybody here on this court can shoot the ball.
Chioza kicked the pass. Shot clock at 20 seconds. 10:25 remaining here in the first half. We're at the Moda Center, the home of the Portland Trail Blazers. That NBA team on the road this week, while we have celebrated yesterday, the Thanksgiving holiday, and really the celebration of college basketball here in late November.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome here. This has been so much fun. Walking around town, seeing all the teams and the fans, and reading Twitter and listening to all the whining. It's awesome.
Well, we're about 7 minutes away from tip-off next door at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Miles Bridges warming up. He is expected to start, coming back after not playing last night. Maybe the threat from Coach Izzo got him off the bench, saying, I got to get out there.
Yeah, well, he tells Coach Izzo, look, you need me more than I need you. Because I'm going to be a first-5 pick. So that all sounds good, right?
Yep.
Izzo said, what did he say? I'll kill you if you don't play.
If you get hurt again.
Yeah,
if
well,
you get hurt again.
Okay. Okay, Coach.
And obviously tongue-in-cheek, having fun
right.
with his superstar player, but you're right. And so I think probably the idea coming in here, hey, he's going to have tomorrow off either way, and if we can get 2 games out of him here, a semi and a championship, we're going to get only 2 out of 3 games. This is the way to do it.
There's no question, and Tom Izzo would never play a guy that isn't ready to play. I don't care how good he is. I didn't think he looked particularly good right there, Bridges. Now, you can say, well, it's just a little clip. That's a lot of years of experience of watching kids get ready for a game. I'll be interested in seeing how, if he plays, number 1, and how much he plays, number 2, and number 3, how effective he might be.
Those 2 free throws by Killian Tilly snapped the long Florida run. Gators with it. Midway through the first half, up 2. Special PK-80 uniforms being worn by all 16 teams here in Oregon. Tilly with a block shot. What were you saying about him?
Tilly is really good. Tilly is good on both ends. Look, he shows his hands, uses the proper hand, the baseline hand, makes the block, shows him right there, and uses the proper hand. That is a skill. A lot of people think just because you're big, you can block shots. There's a lot of big guys that can't block nothing.
And he looks like he's from a volleyball family, right?
Yes.
Which he is.
Really?
You know, his brother Kevin went to win back-to-back NCAA volleyball titles at UC Irvine. And both of his parents were world-class volleyball players. His dad played in the Olympics for 2 years. And you could see Killian Tilly, you could see him really tearing it up on the volleyball court.
You know, the one thing, if you've ever watched men's volleyball, those are some of the best athletes you'll ever see. I mean, I guarantee you his dad can jump, like really, really jump.
So when you're 6'10" and can jump,
that's a good sign.
That's a good combination in basketball and in volleyball.
You know, at Indiana, when we were rolling with Coach Knight, we lost a player to college volleyball, a kid named Lloyd Ball, whose dad was the Olympic volleyball coach. His son was a really good basketball player out of Fort Wayne. We recruited him to Indiana. He said, no, I'm going to play volleyball at IPFW, which was a national power at the time because of the Ball family.
Did he enjoy volleyball more than basketball?
I think he enjoyed playing for his dad more than with Coach Knight.
And the hammer by Tilly.
How good is Jonathan Williams? That was a spike by Tilly. See what I did there? Jonathan Williams, really good. Wow. First one to 100?
Well, they both could get to 100.
First one to 106?
106. Florida last night put 108 on the board. Gonzaga last night put up 86. Perkins dumps it off. Tilly gathers, draws the foul, and we'll head back to the free throw line.
Man, on cue, we just talked about an Look at Jonathan Williams. Plays with his head up, got stopped, slips a bounce pass in there, and Tilly just back cuts Kulichev. How do you say his name again?
Kulichev.
Thank you. Kulichev got watching the ball. Tilly did not. And we've said it. You cut, you don't stand. And if you do cut, good things are going to happen when you play with unselfish guys. And certainly Jonathan Williams, unselfish.
And that dunk by Tilly was their first field goal in 5.5 minutes. He adds a couple of free throws. Wouldn't the volleyball aficionado, Dan, say it was a kill instead of a spike?
Yeah.
But I like where you're going with that. I wish I'd thought of it.
Well, no, you'd have said it right. You'd have said it's a kill.
No, I liked it. Like, we're a team here, we're a partnership, but I was a little jealous when you got that out there.
You're not the only one. I don't like this zone attack. Again, we've got 2 guys matched up against 2, And so you're going to have to drive it through a guy guarding you man-to-man. Somebody needs to get on the point of this zone. And if you do, you're going to get shots at the top of the key. That's what Mike White's telling him right now.
DeAndre Ballard has come back in for Florida. Mike Okaru is also out there. He's number 0. Allen lobs the pass to Kulichov. Still scoreless.
This zone attack is just bad. Everybody's matched up against each other. You can't play against matched up. You have to get in gaps. There, at least you're going to drive it.
Well, they made something out of nothing there thanks to the freshman from Atlanta.
He's really good, too. He has the ability, Ballard does, to just score.
Perkins has the pass taken away by Allen. He gets it up ahead. Gators on the move. Hachimura with the block. Gonzaga back the other way with Perkins. There's Allen again. He has been active on the defensive end till he comes out. And then we've got a foul on the rebound.
Hey, I see the commercials. Tilly, Tilly.
Let's take a look at some of the dunks of the day here at PK 80. You know, Duke had itself a Roach problem today. Kerwin Roach repeatedly, and he had maybe 4 dunks in the game. Grayson Allen getting into the mix. And this leads me to wonder, curious minds want to know, what was your best dunk, Dan Dockett?
Me?
Yeah.
Couldn't dunk.
Never?
In the history of Indiana basketball, I had the lowest vertical ever, 23 inches.
Could you palm the basketball all right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I just couldn't jump. There's no pop in this body. There's no oomph. There's no nothing. Just a lot of smarts.
Did you ever try with a volleyball or a tennis ball, smaller balls?
Yeah, I could do all that.
But never a basketball.
No,
wow.
No, I had bone disease. I had all kind of stuff I had overcome. True story.
And I shouldn't laugh at that.
I know. I had to sit out a year of high school. I had all kind of problems with knees. But
wow.
So I overcame a lot.
To become
mentally
a Division I athlete, I'm going to need a moment to compose myself.
I know. People, you never know. The struggle is real, people.
Jonathan Williams at the free throw line. This young man has no problem playing above the rim.
This guy's good, man. This guy is so good. He got a bad-looking shot, but it doesn't matter. He just can play, really play.
Chiozza and Allen out there with Kulichov for Florida, trying to attack the zone again. Where was Chiozza trying to go with that pass?
Well, he went to Gok, and he could have had the ball, but he tried to catch it with one hand. He really wasn't ready. It's a tough pass. It's a good pass, but just not a good pass to him. Because when he looked off, when Chiozza looked off, Gak looked off with him and hit him in the chest. Great defense, Chiozza.
Another deflection for the Gators. 7 minutes to go in the half. Perkins leads it at the rim. And the finish by Williams.
I don't clap often, but that pass from Perkins was out of this world good.
And what did we say earlier about how those two seem to be connected?
Yes, you said it, and you couldn't be more right. Now, right now, Williams needs to connect by getting the ball to Perkins. There you go. Oh, man!
What'd you say about my stroke?
I said his stroke is awesome. He is so good.
He's shooting 67% this year, you know.
He's 2 of 3.
All right, you had to pull the curtain away.
That's right. I did a little homework.
Kayvon Allen. Look
Great
at the hustle by Gak.
Yeah, Gak's playing a really good game. He lost that ball out of bounds a minute ago, but he's playing really well.
Ballard, tough shot.
Well, that was a line drive. His hand got a little on top of the ball.
Under 6 minutes now. Williams is feeling it.
The hook.
Little Artis Gilmore.
Oh, yes, exactly. Get the mutton chops. What a hook.
Gack will shoot free throws.
Hey, Jonathan Williams with everything. This was a great play. You didn't even see Williams. There he goes. And in traffic over people. That was fantastic. And now the three. No respect. Drills. Jonathan Williams with 8 straight points. We got to show the hook. Can we go with the hook? You're right, Artis Gilmore. This is Art. If you don't know who Artis Gilmore is, Google it.
Former Jacksonville star.
And went to the Final Four. Pembroke Burroughs, Artis Gilmore. Pembroke Burroughs, the world's tallest cop at 7'1". True story.
2 missed free throws by Gack.
You got to go to Jonathan Williams again, don't you?
Well, he's got the ball, but gives it up. Nice job by Kulichov to cut off the baseline and take it away from Tilly.
Kulichov's got to get going a Euro step.
Hachimura secures the rebound for Gonzaga. Here comes the tempo we were looking for. Perkins fires away.
Man, he missed that dead right. Last night, he was making them from there and backwards, but he missed that. That was a bad stroke.
Block shot. And again, Tilly comes away with it. Numbers for the Zags. But the ball goes right through the fingertips of Corey Kispert and out of bounds.
Kispert had the ball, and he just tried to go too fast. He caught it. Look at this. Watch this right here. Great defense. Shows your hands. Rips it down. Jonathan Williams is having himself a day. Then another. You body up. You show your hands. You have from the floor to the roof. As long as you go straight up, you can jump, you can do whatever, and it is something that is now taught by coaches, and you can tell Gonzaga has really taught this well.
Although we cleared up with you, the roof was never in play.
Never. The net was barely in play.
How about this? Josh Perkins and Igor Kulichov, who were both so brilliant shooting the ball last night, both still scoreless, a combined 0 for 8 tonight.
Well, look, I mean, Water finds his level. He just does. And you cannot rely, well, on 13 to 17. And every coach knows it.
Florida last night set a program record for made threes and a half with 13 in the first half.
Is it nice playing with Tilly? You can play Tilly everywhere. He was an outside, now he's on the block.
Look at Kayvon Allen at 6'2", defending the low post and knocking that out of bounds. That's at least his 4th or 5th deflection already.
And that was a bad pass. Uchimura should have taken it below the foul line, made the feed.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And in part by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter. ESPN College Football has West Virginia and Oklahoma coming up 3:45 p.m. It's part of the Jiffy Lube rivalry series. And then how about Clemson against South Carolina? Will Clemson take down its in-state rival and keep hope alive for back-to-back national championships?
No, South Carolina is going to win that game. And the big one is Ohio State, Michigan. Jim Harbaugh desperately needing a win. Desperately needing a win over Ohio State.
But we're talking hoops right now. This is the absolute mecca for college basketball this week. Right next door, 4th-ranked Michigan State just underway against Connecticut. UConn with that layup has just taken the lead. And again, Miles Bridges playing for the Spartans after missing yesterday with an injury.
First time since Jim O'Brien's first year back in the 80s that UConn was under 500, 16 and 17 last year. They need a win like we need air, man. And and so does Michigan State. Michigan State doesn't have anything really significant in the win column.
Well, UConn has won 4 national championships in men's basketball, 3 for Coach Calhoun, 1 for Kevin Ollie. but it is really a what have you done for me lately in stores.
Yeah, and you know, you can make the argument that he's falling out of his shot. Kulichov is falling out of his shot way too quickly, and he's been short both attempts.
Kispert, nice finish with the left hand.
He is so good. He's big, thick, strong, and plays that way. And he can shoot it on top of. A terrific guy to have on top of zone as well.
And that's just a freshman. You know what I mean? To have shoulders like that.
Yeah, he's an old-looking freshman. And not in a bad way.
Kayvon Allen. Chiozza from way downtown. He's got his first points of the night.
That was a great find by Allen. Allen went into the zone, and he was going to throw it opposite to the corner. He read the defense, kicked it out to Chiozza, who stepped in and drilled it.
Now Larson on that screen, his base was wider than it should be according to college basketball rules this year. Tilly buries the three.
What more do you want Tilly to do? You can say that about all these guys. They're so well-rounded. Tilly has played inside. He's run the floor. He's back cut for a dunk. He shoots a three, block shots. I mean, what do you want a guy to do? He's a terrific player.
And he's averaging almost a double-double here in the early going. He's already in the double figures in scoring tonight. He's got 10 points and a couple of rebounds. Williams leads the way for the Bulldogs with 12.
Good kick.
Okaru for three.
That was so good by Okaru. Okaru just filled in behind of Chiozza and made himself, cut himself open. And Chiozza found it because Okaru yelled for him.
Silas Melson draws the foul.
Hey, this kid is so good. Tilly is planted now on the baseline, and the recovery came, but it was too short. You got to run him off the line. And here you get in the middle of a zone, you have options. And you can see Okaru moves into the open spot, and Chiozza found him. That's pretty good basketball. I know that's great basketball.
He was part of the core that won 37 games a year ago and made it all the way to the national championship game. Young man from Paris, France, takes a seat on the bench with a minute and a half remaining. Coming up on the Land Rover halftime report, young Mr. Bagley lifts Duke in overtime. UNC, Nova, Xavier, all in action today. We'll have lots of college basketball highlights coming up at the half.
How good was Marvin Bagley the first and second?
That's a very good question.
You know what I mean?
How come we don't know who they were?
I know it, because I'll tell you what, the third is unbelievable. I got to imagine the second was pretty good.
I got to imagine both were pretty good.
Yeah. Anybody knows Marvin Bagley? Anyone knows? Let us know.
Allen rising up. A little strong that time. Kulichov on the offensive glass. No hurry in these Gators. Under control. Get a second good look. Just couldn't convert.
Yeah, really good look. Allen jumped too high. I mean, it's kind of odd. You don't really practice jumping really high and shooting. He jumped high in the middle of the zone. Shot it long.
Kispert again. Boy, with those broad shoulders, nobody can cut him off.
You know who he reminds me of? Grayson Allen.
Okay.
Athletic, goes to the rim, not afraid. Here's our guy.
We got a bunch of guys out there.
Yeah, we do. This is a really good game. This is a high-level game.
And how about the atmosphere in here tonight? Williams drive and dish. The freshman again. 3 seconds.
Got
two.
time, a lot of time.
Chiozza has it
Great
poked
play.
away, out of bounds, and that's the end of the half. Are we in Spokane?
I don't know, but hey, Zag Nation travels. Wow. Oh, that ref's saying it's done.
Yeah, Michael Stevens, the lead official, immediately said the ball was out of bounds with no time on the clock. The Florida side was saying you need to go review that to see if we should put tenths of a second back on. But Mike Stevens is not easily convinced.
No, he's not. Mike Stevens did a great job right there.
All right, let's go over to Jeff with Mark Few.
Mark, you guys up 7 at the half here. Jonathan Williams doesn't get a ton of credit nationally. What type of impact has he had so far? Maybe mine.
Probably.
What type of impact has he had for you in the first 20?
He's been great. He's been great. We run a lot of our offense through him. And he's a physical presence. He's a great rebounder. He's became a very good facilitator. We can basically create offense just by giving him the ball.
I know Perkins has been the scorer for you so far this season. Hasn't put numbers in the board, but what do you think of his floor game?
I think really good. This is a really, really tough bunch of guards to play against. They're constantly challenging you on every pass. You know, they're up into you. They're playing so fast. I thought he's really managed the game well.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Yep.
Gonzaga opened the game on a 13-4 run. Florida answered with 13 unanswered. And then Gonzaga goes 10-0. 7-point lead at the break. Stay tuned for the Land Rover halftime report after these messages. We've got some star players of the semis of the PK 80. Luke May for Carolina, 28 points, a career high against Arkansas earlier today. And I'm telling you, this freshman, there is no question he's the best in the land. Marvin Bagley III, his career high 34 points. Oh, by the way, 15 rebounds. And then the star of the first half of our game here tonight, Jonathan Williams, 12 points. He rattled off 8 in a row at one point to allow the Zags to get back in front as part of ESPN's Feast Week presented by Lowe's. You're watching the PK 80 presented by State Farm. 36-29. Number 17 Gonzaga leading number 7 Florida. With Dan Dockich, I'm Doug Sherman. And the winner of this will get Duke 10:30 Eastern time on ESPN Sunday night. And a chance to say we were winners in the week of Thanksgiving.
You don't remember this. I told you yesterday that I'll put the over-under at 4.5 threes Florida would hit in the first half.
You're right. I do remember.
4.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, water finds its level. Florida, to get back in this game, they're in the game, but to win this game, they're going to have to get something out of the post. And that may be Kulichov. That may be everybody driving. But right now, not so much. Hey, Jonathan Williams has been great.
Yeah, it's time now for our assist of the game brought to you by State Farm.
Yeah, he's been absolutely great. He's done everything you want him to do. He's gone new school, old school. Here's a little old school hook for you. He has been the difference. And Mark Few's whining about, you know, whose problem is it that he doesn't have more national recognition? Oh, I'll say it's Mark Few and his staff's problem. I mean, they should pump this guy more. This guy can really play. I mean, really play. And he plays it every time down the floor, both ends of the court.
Now, who would have thought Hudson and Kulichov, after being so good last night, would be so quiet in that first half tonight?
Well, one of the things, I think Gonzaga's defense has sped up Florida to a certain degree. They've really gone out and challenged three-point shooters. You know, they've done a good job of speeding things up, and I like right there a lot of penetration into the jump shot. That's what they have to do, Florida. Drive it or throw it inside and play inside out.
The assist to Allen, the three-pointer to Chiozza. Efficient is the word I keep thinking of when it comes to the Florida offense.
That is a great, not a good play. That is a great play by Keith Stone. That is a scouting report, assistant coach play. Watch this. A little X action off the high post. A little screen. Stone jumps in front and takes the charge. That is scouting right there. That is a staff charge.
Keith Stone, a sophomore from Deerfield Beach, Florida. This Florida team had the longest to travel to get here to Portland for PK 80.
Yeah, it was tough. You get in a charter.
Oh, it's brutal.
Oh, every seat's first class. I mean, I feel for them.
2,930 miles from Gainesville Took them 7 hours, had to stop to refuel in Denver.
Sure, and the problem was you don't get any frequent flyer miles when you do that. I mean,
That's the biggest hardship.
You listen to some, it is an absolute chore to play college basketball if you listen to some people.
Now, you had a pretty nice set of arrangements getting yourself here.
I thank every day my agent said get first class. I'm like, I don't need first class. I love first class.
Oh, yeah. Hudson, little shovel pass. Kulichov still scoreless, under control, back out to Hudson.
Bad shot. I mean, Kulichov has got to go make something happen and get fouled inside. He's too big and strong to just kick it back out. That's a good pass.
Williams taking his time, under control.
That's a bad call. I was watching Williams' left foot. I don't think he moved it. It looked awkward. It looked like a travel, but I don't think that it was. I really don't. Watch his left foot. That's definitely a travel. What the heck am I talking about? I gotta get my eyes fixed. So you see what Florida's doing. They don't have an inside game right now. You got 5 guys on the perimeter. They're trying to create an inside game by driving it and getting the ball into the lane. Good defense there.
Now the shot clock down to 5. Allen.
Great defense. Terrible offense by Florida. Nobody's in the gaps.
Perkins pulls the trigger, and it goes down. First 3 points for the redshirt junior from Park Hill, Colorado. Stone tries to get him back, and he does.
Little ball screen. Stone as the 5-man. I mean, look at, there's nobody with any size out there, so you're going to have to shoot the ball or drive it from Stone. He just set a little ball screen, popped back, knocked in a 3.
Stone is 6 for 9 in his college career on 3-point shots. Nelson dumps it off, and it's finished by Tilley.
It's amazing what happens when good players get the ball in the lane.
Hudson.
This is the game we thought. Up and down shots going in.
The Zags in the black, the Gators in the orange. Another quick shot. Offensive rebound, Jonathan Williams. He'll try again, but can't haul in the rebound this time. Hudson starting to feel it. Back to Kayvon Allen.
Boy, was that great defense by Melson and Josh Perkins. They were going to get driven. They didn't because of their quickness.
Hudson for 3.
Hudson has the oddest stroke for a good shooter. The ball does not spin with regular rotation. It spins as a globe. And yet he makes everything.
Perkins.
If I'm Florida, I'm pushing. Let's score in 100. Let's get to 100.
Hudson takes the bump, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Well, Jalen Hudson can shoot the basketball. It's not the prettiest release. It's a good release. It's just not the prettiest spin. But he can shoot it. The transfer for Virginia Tech.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter. You're ready for winter back in Indiana?
No, it never is winter in Indiana. It's always 60 and sunny. There's a dome over my house.
There you go.
No, it gets cold. I'll tell you what, I was talking to Teddy Valentine before the game, and he moved from Ohio to Charleston, and he was bragging about how he's in heaven with no winter.
Well, where you just came from in Maui, a little bit warmer than where you're headed after this.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, well, yes, it is. But I love Portland. I mean, if for someone that's never been in Portland, this place is awesome, man. Nice people, great restaurants.
We have certainly enjoyed ourselves. I got here on Tuesday. You got here late Wednesday, and it has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know the presumption, the expectation is that the PK80 is a one-and-done deal. But if they could ever figure out, maybe not every year, but to do it again every 4 years, something like that.
This would be a must-see. I mean, this really would. You got these places right. Well, he went to his left shoulder. He's been going right shoulder with a hook. And Jonathan Williams just kicking Florida. He's good. Golly, is he good.
Perkins going to be called for the foul. Well, you know who else loves the city of Portland and the suburbs? The Gonzaga Bulldogs. Over the years, Mark Few has had a pipeline of guys going from here out to campus.
Yeah, some have left and wanted to come back. Kyle Wiltshire at Purdue, or excuse me, at Kentucky. Didn't Nigel Williams-Goss start out at Washington and transfer back? So some guy, you know, you make a mistake, you come back home.
And of course, Mark Few grew up in the state of Oregon in a small town called Cresswell, about 120 miles south of the city of Portland. Hudson did not get the shot off.
And that wasn't his fault. Stone had no idea. Now, you're not supposed to have an idea when you're the 5-man or the 4-man. Hayes is in there with him. But Chiozza is, Hudson is, Allen is. They're supposed to know, and nobody was talking.
I think they're checking the clock here. Zach Norvell Jr., Josh Perkins, Killian Tilly, Corey Kispert, and Jonathan Williams, the 5 on the floor for the Zags, tied at 43. Williams leapt a little bit too early to catch that pass, and it just slipped off his fingers.
Yeah, he did. And going back to what you said earlier, Perkins to Williams, they're really connected. It just mistimed it.
And they're still talking about it. Williams patted his chest and said, "That's on me."
And he's right. I mean, hey, you know, guy made a nice pass, you got to catch it. But he misses one a month.
Shot clock under 10. Chiozza calls for a screen. Doesn't use it. Gets his pocket picked by Perkins. Gonzaga basketball, 3-on-3. Perkins, a little leaner.
So good. So good. Could have settled for a 3. Could have made a quick pass out to the right side. He didn't. He took his time. He looked the defense off, laid it in. And nothing wrong with this kid. This kid could play both ends. You're going to see the drive. He slaps, gets a strip, gets on the floor, eventually gets the ball. He stays in bounds and comes down. And look at a little look off right there. Little look off enabled him to get the shot off with nobody jumping at him.
And he has played big in big moments over the years for the Zags. Last year dropped 18 on these Gators on 6 of 9 shooting, then scored 16 against Arizona, 13 against Carolina, and just 1 turnover against West Virginia in the Sweet 16.
He was terrific last night.
20 points. Very efficient, too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he just knocked him in and kept knocking him in from deep and opened up the game against Ohio State.
Hayes to the corner. Hudson puts it up and in.
That was a great stroke by Hudson. Hudson went up as quick as you can go. He was down, ready, hands above his elbows, ready to shoot. Really nice by the veteran.
Trying to find Hachimura. Couldn't get it there. Norvell turns it over. Allen looking around, decides to go up with it. Out of bounds, back to the Zags.
No, I would have bet Allen would have made that shot. He took his time. A lot of times when you bring it down, you shoot as a second thought. Allen knew he was going to shoot, took his time, stepped in, just missed it.
Out of North Little Rock High School. First team All-SEC. Averaged 14 a game last year. His scoring is off just a little bit here early, but he's got so many people around him who can put the ball in the hole. Williams with the right hand again.
One dribble from the top of the key. Still had a great jump to extend his right hand. Remember, he's left-handed. Man, Mark Few and his staff better start pumping that kid.
Here goes Hudson. Oh! He wanted to throw that down and then some. He scored 9 in a row for the Gators, and that would have been the highlight of the night.
Every guy drinking beer in the stands rooting for Gonzaga jumped up on that one. Man, Hudson went to the rim tough. It's tough. I'll tell you what, Gonzaga isn't the tallest team, but they have great timing. And that kid right there, he reminds me of Sam Perkins. Remember Sam Perkins?
Big Smooth.
Yeah, the Big Smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Became a three-point shooter in the NBA, but he was a first-team All-American a few times. And really long and athletic. And I would not be surprised to see Jonathan Williams have a long and incredibly productive NBA career.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Sam Perkins play a couple of times when he was in college for those Carolina teams. Think about that. When they walked in the gym, the talent that was on that roster.
Yeah, and we whipped them.
I'm sure you did.
We did. Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, Kenny Smith, Brad Doherty.
Did you get matched up with that Jordan guy?
I really can't remember. It's just another game.
Well, with those 2 free throws, Hudson has now scored 11 straight points for the Gators.
One dribble to the rim and one.
Say the foul came before the basket.
Man. Little shot fake. Whop. One dribble. That's an and one. No?
No, I agree with you.
They called the body out earlier, but
I agree with you.
You know what? If most people just said that, the world would be a better place.
It sure would, but we know from Twitter that not many people in the universe agree with me on that point.
Oh, man, the whining is incessant. 28-minute walk-ons on me.
Chiozza.
Nice cut, little slash cut. And Chiozza did what good players do. He took his time, initiated the contact, and kept his chin on the rim, laying it in. Watch this, takes his time, jumps in, leans with his left. That's terrific. The little slice cut, no help from Williams. Might be the first mistake he's made all game, not protecting the basket, but Chiozza, great job.
Norvell picks up the foul.
Don't look now, but Florida's got the lead.
Perkins uses the screen. Norvell.
What has happened is in half court, Florida has not set up. Florida just keeps going offensively, and it's really impressive. Look how quick.
Man,
quick is that?
He is single-handedly keeping the Bulldogs in this thing. Back to a one-point game. That's 18 points to lead all score.
You know, when we talk about quick first steps, we're usually talking about guards. I'm not sure I've seen a quicker first step all year than what I've seen out of Jonathan Williams.
First team all West Coast Conference. 5th-year senior from Memphis, Tennessee.
He's first team All-American. And as of right now, he knocks this in. Let's give it to him. Give him the Heisman, too. Look at Perkins. Look at Perkins.
Gators have it. Here comes Kulichov. Pulls up from 3. He just hasn't found his rhythm tonight.
He's done nothing. That's a good pass.
Got it back to Hudson. He's got his rhythm here in the second half.
That's what I'm saying. They have to play this way. It has to be a chaotic game. Kulichov got the ball back, found the next. I'm telling you, I haven't seen a quicker first step than this kid, Jonathan Williams. Jonathan Williams, unbelievable here. Look, even in slow motion, he's quick. How do you let him go to his left? Well, you give him a little bit of space, and he's just going to whip you. And then now, Florida comes down. Kulichov can't find nothing, but he got it back and made a slick little cross his body pass for the 3. Florida up, and this is a good one.
It's cross-conference chaos of the best kind. The Big Ten's ACC Challenge starts Monday.
I'll be watching the Terps in the orange, 7 o'clock on Monday on ESPN2. And we've got a little ACC action coming up Sunday in the championship on this side of the bracket, the motion bracket here at PK80. The Blue Devils will get the winner of this one, Florida and Gonzaga. And you know, the lead that Florida has right now matches its largest Dan of the night.
Florida's playing great.
And if we get the Gators and the Blue Devils on Sunday, you know who Mike White's father is.
DAD it.
We might have ourselves a little storyline in addition to some great basketball.
Got pretty good storylines. We're going to have Ohio State with Chris Holtman against his former team. He was coaching it last year, the Butler Bulldogs. Uncomfortable game. Jeff Goodman and I argued that one out. See, half court is not the easiest thing in this game for Florida. It just isn't.
Blocking foul called against Tilly. The folks rooting for the Zags do not agree. The PK80 has 16 teams, 2 brackets, 2 arenas. We have 1 sideline reporter, and Jeff Goodman is back in our building with more on what he's been doing again today. Jeff?
Listen, nobody's had a better seat than me. I mean, you can see I'm sweating a little bit from going back and forth. Just came back. Michigan State is at the half right now against UConn, and this is the route I take. All right, it takes me about a minute and a half, but if I'm hustling, which sometimes I do, I'm a little old, so I'm getting a little bit tired right now, but that's what I do. I mean, go out here's the ESPN truck on the right, and nobody waves to me, nothing. I'm sprinting here. I mean, look at my speed. Look at this. Nobody has this speed. And then I get here, and I'm loaded up. I got an apple. I got Twizzler. I ate some chips. I mean, I'm like,
what's in the back pocket?
I'm rolling.
What do you got in the back pocket?
I got a notebook. What do you think? Sideline reporter needs a notebook, Dan Dockett.
What's in that note? Give us an example of what is in the notebook.
You can't read it. Try to decipher that. You can't do it.
And Jeff, if you're getting old, what does that mean for me and Dockich?
Dockich is ancient.
Dockich is spry, young, fit, and virile.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Jeff, what's the report on Miles Bridges? It didn't look like he started, didn't look like he played a lot of minutes.
He didn't start. That was by design, but Tom Izzo said he's not on any sort of minute restriction other than the fact that he picked up 2 fouls, so he only ended up playing 5 minutes in the first half, 2 points, a couple rebounds. He said he's looked okay, but you know, right now Michigan State's struggling. They have 3 of their top guys also in foul trouble.
Hey, Jeff, you've seen enough basketball to know what a guy looks like. I thought that when we showed clips of Miles Bridges getting ready for the game, he looked tender to me. Did he look like he was restricted at all playing?
He didn't show any explosive moves when I was over there, Dan. Now, that doesn't mean he won't show them in the second half. Again, I didn't see it.
Hudson at the free throw line gets the roll on the first. He's had a big second half, this junior out of Richmond, Virginia. He's filling in kind of the role that Canyon Berry played so well last year for the Gators. Although he has started both games here in Portland this week, the idea is he could be that instant offense guy coming off the bench for Coach White.
What a luxury, right? A veteran guy. You know, between him and Kulichov, who just got his first bucket, you know, you've got 2 guys that are adults. You know, you're not playing with 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. You're playing with adults. You're playing with men.
Wow! Chioza.
He went up and kind of no-looked it. And again, I go back to the physical strength of these guards for Florida. Just strong kids. And when you're strong, you can make shots like that in traffic, over and around and through people.
And again, he's another grown man out there playing ball.
Telling you. So is this guy.
Perkins. That's a 2.
Yeah, well, that's a good play.
Zags back within 4. Under 9 minutes to go. The winner of this gets Duke on Sunday night for the Motion Bracket Championship of PK80. Back cut Hudson. Clean block. Tilly went straight up, walled up, and effectively cut off the basket.
The fans here are sarcastically cheering because it's only the second foul. Look, we talk about grown men, right? Chioza's a grown man. He just explodes inside-out dribble and stay strong through everything. Grown man on the other end, too. A little step back, kick your right leg out, and drill it. This is fantastic guard play on both ends of the court. Fantastic.
These are both second weekend teams at least.
Yes, at least, absolutely.
There to clean it up. Who else? Jonathan Williams, 22 points.
Yeah, we're going to go in the post with the guard and step back and long. If I'm Gonzaga, I take it and I go.
Gonzaga with a chance to tie or retake the lead.
Yeah, I just go here. I want to take it, drive it, and let Williams get to the backboard. Neither team has been great in half-court offense.
Tilly rattles home the three, and Gonzaga goes back up by one.
How good are these two bigs? We always talk about Gonzaga's perimeter, and they've been outstanding, but these two bigs, my goodness, can they play?
Stone around and out. Ball knocked away from Kulachov. And a timeout called by the Zags. Seven straight points for the Zags. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. With Dan Dockett and Jeff Goodman, I'm Doug Sherman here in Portland, Oregon. And Jonathan Williams, the big story tonight for Gonzaga. 22 points after scoring 21 last night. And he's got the Bulldogs on the verge of getting into the championship game.
Yeah, he does. He's been terrific. And now, you know, other guys have contributed, but the basis of Gonzaga having a lead here is Jonathan Williams. Look at this crowd. Is this awesome?
Allen answers and quiets the kennel.
Kispert is, I think he's Grayson Allen. I mean, he drives it for a dunk. He can shoot it. He's active. He's tough. Grayson Allen without the triple.
Tilly having a big game himself. He gets the roll.
He is so good. Again, you let a good player get into the middle, bad things are going to happen for you.
39 of Gonzaga's 65 points have come from their two bigs.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Count the basket. Foul off the ball.
What a shot. Replay will not do this justice, Ian. A step back in your face, crowding you, ball spinning like a globe three. What a shot. Foul underneath, so it's going to be a one-on-one as well. It's a 5-point play opportunity right here.
Watch Perkins underneath. He gets called for the foul, number 13 in black. Is that a foul or is that just a box out?
That's a foul. He led with his arm and he extended, and that's anytime you do that with a referee, that's a foul. Now, in Perkins' defense, you kind of have to do that, right?
Giving up a lot of size, and so now Hayes, like you said, with a chance to make it a 5-point possession.
You don't see it very often. That's 4. Usually a 4-point play is a bucket and you a 3-point shot and you get fouled, but 5-point possession right here if he makes.
The young man from Live Oak, Florida, with a couple of free throws, and we've got our 9th lead change of the night. Perkins leans in, and then foul call.
And there's your makeup. It happens every game. Now you're going to see, I think, pretty good defense here. I thought the defender moved his feet, showed his hands, unless he slapped down. I don't see how that's a foul, but again, you see it all the time. He's jumping straight up. He slapped down, which is a foul if you hit a body, but he hit the ball. That is a big-time bailout, and the ball always knows.
On Chioza, just his second personal foul. Only Hudson has 3 for Florida. And a couple of guys have 3, Tilly and Perkins for Gonzaga, nobody with 4. All tied 66 apiece, under 6 to go.
Well, if you're Zaga, you guys are running hard. You got to push.
Did Williams just give a little gator as he was running up court?
He did. I don't know if that's a signal for a play. Well, it's good defense by Stone. They wanted to run high-low, but Stone wouldn't let the pass be made.
Tough pass there. Stone comes up with the basketball.
That was terrific defense by both Stone and Hayes.
Allen quickly into the corner for 3.
You used to run for layups. Then you used to run for the wing. Now guys first down will run for the corner, get the ball to the wing, and kick it, and that's what Allen did there.
And ball handlers are coached now to expect somebody to be there.
Absolutely. Look at this. Too much. Left shoulder, right shoulder, you name it. Doesn't matter whether it's Stone, Hayes, Gack, Jonathan Williams going to work.
He keeps chomping the Gators. Maybe that's what he was doing.
Maybe. He can do it because he's dominating.
That's 24 points for Jonathan Williams, along with 9 rebounds.
That seemed like a bad shot. I mean, you hit a bad shot. You don't need to hit heat check. You can get that shot anytime.
Perkins trying to run the screen and roll, and he gets the pass through.
Double came. Bottom man for Florida came out onto Kispert, leaving the bucket and Williams alone.
Those two are attached by a string.
You said it early, Doug, and it was a great comment because you're absolutely right.
The patience by Perkins to let that develop. Tough pass, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay at this end.
Jonathan Williams has made 12 baskets in 16 attempts. That's not Bill Walton, but that's close. Man, look at this. Takes him to the middle, spins back, opposite shoulder, lays it in. Remember, he's left-handed, and now in a trap, you got to guard the basket. Hayes didn't guard the basket. Williams a dunk.
The phrase, "there's no finish line," comes from a Nike ad. Where did you think it came from? Facebook? The PK80 College Basketball Tournament on ESPN.
And if not for Phil Knight, Dan Dockich and Doug Sherman would not be sitting here courtside enjoying a tremendous basketball game.
This is high level. This is NCAA Elite 8, Sweet 16, Final Four. And I believe both of these teams will be there.
Well, yesterday we had 4 pretty much one-sided games decided by 18, 13, 21, and 27 points. Today, 2 points. An overtime game won by 7 by Duke. 8 in the last one. And how about this one? It's a 1-point game with under 4 minutes to go. The winner gets Duke on Sunday.
Igor Kulichov has to do something. He has to be involved here somehow, some way. He has not done nearly what he's capable. He's 1 for 9 right now.
2 points for somebody averaging nearly 22 a night. Melson tries to dump it off. Williams able to save it. No change of possession, so the shot clock continues down at 7. Perkins, what a crossover. Oh, a wide open 3.
Man, and look at the emotion. Kispert, look, he had nothing to do with the play, but you love that kid's emotion after the make.
Gators down 4. Allen into the lane and draws the foul.
Oh my, you said it. What a great, not good, devastating crossover right there. Just putting Allen on skates. Look at Kispert. I love that, man. That's a kid that understands the culture of Gonzaga and just wants to win as a freshman.
I think he's going to win a lot as a freshman.
Oh my gosh, he is a winning guy, and so is Perkins. Every guy on this floor, just fun to watch.
Tavon Allen quietly getting his numbers. He came into this game 36 points away from 1,000 for his career. Couple of big free throws there. Here goes Perkins to work again. Trying to find Tilly on the block, or Williams out front. This is Tilly. Backing down on Kulichov, the open man Kispert. Barely grazed the iron.
You got to go. You got to go fast, I think, and keep the ball humming. I've been saying it all game, but
Hayes handles the basketball and turns it over. 2-on-1 lob. Kispert. And Hayes commits the foul.
Hayes handling the ball at the top of the key has been bad business for Florida. His teammates went over and said, look, you got to pass fake and throw it underneath. But they were trying. They rubbed Chiozza off the high post, and then we're going to go down to him. But Hayes not equipped to handle it.
Keep in mind, Hayes is getting extended minutes here this week. Jonik Gunu, their terrific big, still sidelined from the right ACL injury suffered last February. He's doing weight training now and some straight line running, but he won't be ready to play again until January.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a rim protector. He's an athletic kid. Feel like it's a must score right here.
Hudson for 3. He's got it.
Wow. Just a little handoff. Nothing but net. Wow.
That matches his season high. 6 from his career high, and it's back to a 1-point game. Perkins, Williams.
Good defense by Hayes. Good call.
Well, I thought that could have gone either way.
I thought it was a good call. I thought Allen was moving into Melson. How about this shot? Can guys make shots? Just a little handoff, one dribble right, lift up, under pressure, on the road. This is a home game. What a shot.
Just the 15th foul against the Gators.
See, I like that right there. I think Chiozza should not let Perkins get the basketball, particularly if it goes late clock, or when it goes late clock.
Williams. 3 to shoot. Block shot. Allen with the defense. Florida can take the lead. Chiozza.
That was so smart. Chiozza brought it down fast enough. He didn't bring it down slowly. He brought it down in rhythm. Recognized everybody on Gonzaga was either not loafing, but not set up, or had their back turned, and he just exploded to the rim.
And I think we've got some tired players out there too.
Yeah, you can't be tired. You can be tired tomorrow.
Second game for each of these teams in just over 24 hours, with a lot on the line. Trying to make it to the championship game Sunday night. And like you said, Dan, tomorrow is the time to rest.
Yeah, just take a nap tomorrow. Go to the Nike store, get yourself some new shoes.
2 free throws give the Gators the lead once again, 76-75. Hudson out, Stone back in, a little offense defense.
Yeah, a little better rebounder. You're going to have somebody guard Tilly, somebody guard Williams.
Perkins races the ball into the front court and calls timeout. We'll take a break with 1:03 to go in a good one. On the Wooden Award preseason top 50 watch list. And with the way he's played tonight, Dan, he's going to be on every cut down right to the end.
There can't be any doubt about it. And I would expect the way he plays and how smart he is as a player that he'll do this night after night after night. He's as unstoppable as it gets on the block. He really is. And if they move on, they being Gonzaga, watching him take on Marvin Bagley III will be some kind of fun.
1 minute on the clock. A lot of contact.
Foul to give. They have 1 to give. 5 team fouls, now 6.
Number 3 on Chiozza. Nelson, Perkins, Tilly, Kispert, and Williams. This is Williams. Perkins sees a lane, puts it up, and in!
What a play by Perkins. What a play. Florida out of the timeout was downplaying it, meaning keeping him on his side. He started, stopped, read it right here. Now he goes too quick, uses the left side of his body, keeps his chin on the rim. This is fantastic. Hayes tries, but Perkins leans into him and gets a bucket. What a play by Perkins.
Foul number 4 on Hayes. He goes back out. And now the 3rd-year starting guard, Perkins, back to the line. Lead changes, Dan. What do the Gators do on this possession?
The Gators have got to involve Hudson and Chiozza on some type of drive. You know, they're going to spread the court. Everybody can shoot threes. Stone may be the guy after rotations in the right corner to get a 3 because of the help and the rotations of Gonzaga. Look for that. But what you can't do is you can't settle for a quick bad shot. You've got to make sure that you either go with the play high ball screen or you move the basketball side to side and then go make your drive. But the guy that's going to be open, I believe, after all the rotations, if they move the ball, is going to be Stone in the right corner.
He can make that shot.
Yeah, he can. This was great. Right there. He stops. He reads. Hayes goes out of the way.
And who loved that shot? We love that shot.
That was awesome. I'm telling you, this is so much fun sitting here with you, Stacy, Dave, Eric Lautenbach, Vice President, President of Nike right here, charging his phone so we get free stuff.
We're some lucky folks.
This is awesome. Listen to this crowd.
Is this March in Spokane?
Hey, this is
November in Portland, Oregon.
I'll tell you something. You know what this is? This is as high a level game as you'll find. Listen to this coach.
Kulichov has been non-existent for the Gators. Does he have a big shot in it?
Oh, quick move.
Allen for the tie.
Wow. He went away from the ball screen. They were going to set a high ball screen. He just blasted, I mean blasted, past the entire defense of Gonzaga. Wow.
And now it comes down to who wants to be the hero.
Well, if I am Florida, first thing I'm doing is if if Perkins gives up the ball, we'll look at this drive. Like, boom, crossed over the freshman, got to the rim, and finished on the other side. That is so good. Kispert, who is a very good athlete, didn't really come out expecting a drive. He kind of expected Stone, you see 25, to come over and ball screen. And Allen just went away from it and blasted to the rim.
And if he doesn't have the ability and presence of mind to know I got to go to the other side of the rim, two guys blocked that shot.
Yeah, they might. I'll tell you from a Florida standpoint, if and when Perkins doesn't have the ball, you cannot let him get the ball back. He is going right now. He's comfortable. You saw the layup, the and one. You just can't let him get it back. And then you've got to decide, who can we double Williams from? If it's late clock, it doesn't matter who you double him from. You just go double him. If there's 10 to 12 seconds and he's got it, you got to figure out which guy. Is it the guy farthest away, or is it a guy that you think isn't going right now? Melson doesn't have a bucket in a while. As silly as it sounds, you might double from him.
And Melson's the one guy who has not shot well from the perimeter tonight. He's missed 4 of his 5 attempts.
And I'll tell you something else. Last time he shot the ball, Kispert wasn't close. So if Williams gets the ball, you might think about doubling from Kispert because you have a big kid in Igor to double with.
It'll be Melson with the inbound to Tilly.
If he gives it up, if Perkins gives it up, Chiozza, I believe, cannot let him get it back, but I doubt he gives it up.
Perkins gives it up. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Melson's in trouble. 2 seconds, puts it up.
Bad possession. Just a bad possession. The two guys that had to make the play were either Williams or Perkins. Perkins was just as good to keep the ball and go driving.
Well, it seems fair. Duke needed overtime to get to the championship game. And so either Florida or Gonzaga going to need an extra 5 minutes at least.
I agree. I mean, why not? I mean, you got a lot of paying customers. Let's go. I didn't think Perkins should have given it up after he waited a while. I didn't think he should have. I think Perkins should have kept it, caught a high ball screen, played out of it, and make or miss with your best.
Once the ball got into Melson's hands, what were they trying to do here?
Well, I don't know. They were trying to set a little double. I see. They're trying to set a little double and run two guys. One guy, Kispert, on the right, and Perkins to the left, and it was just bad business. You're playing against veterans who aren't going to let Perkins go get the ball back. Nothing wrong with having Melson get the basketball in the middle of the court, but Perkins is the guy here, and Jonathan Williams, nobody else.
Well, Duke is presumably back at their hotel after their overtime victory against the Longhorns earlier tonight. Just enjoying this one, seeing who they're going to face for the championship of the motion bracket of the inaugural PK80. And boy, I thought Texas had Duke today.
They did until they turned the ball over and took a couple bad shots. And then all of a sudden, what was it, an 18-point lead?
Yeah.
Got right back under 10, and then you got to play Duke, and Duke's too good. Too good.
Kerwin Roach had at least 4 dunks in that game for Texas. I thought the Longhorns were going to take out the #1 team.
I did too. And then all of a sudden, man, you cannot let Duke get back in. You just can't. And they did. It's not the shots at the end that beat you. It's the shots and the bad turnovers when you're up 18, middle of the game, and early in the game. That's what kills you against a team like Duke.
All right, who's in foul trouble as we head to overtime? Hayes has 4 for Florida. Tilly and Perkins both have 4 for Gonzaga.
Well, I'm driving Tilly. I'm going to drive Tilly. Hayes goes out. You know, it's not that big a deal. But Tilly goes out. That's tough.
And for those of you back on the East Coast at 1:45 in the morning, we thank you for staying with us.
Well, where else would you rather be?
Williams sets the ball screen for Perkins. There's that action we've been seeing all night. Hayes with the block shot, and the Bulldogs will keep it.
Yeah, that's the best action they have. You said it from the get-go. that Williams and Perkins were tied at the hip, and they've been terrific together. I would not let Perkins get that ball back, and I would double for Melson here.
Well, Williams recognized immediately he had Chiozza, the point guard, at 6 feet, trying to check it.
And did what you're supposed to do, which is take your time, back him down, and go get fouled or a bucket or both. Yeah, Hayes fouled, and Hayes was late coming over, and that's going to be it for Hayes.
So Hayes should have recognized earlier that Chiozza was in a tough spot.
You have to help early. Like, this is late help. Right now, it's too late, and that's a good call. Help is early. When you help late, it's, again, either a bucket, a foul, or both. That is a funky free throw.
Yeah, his numbers are not great. Only 55% in the early going this year. 2 for 3 tonight. Well, if it goes in, it goes in.
He had a great snap there. It's unorthodox where he puts his right hand.
That's a new career high for him. He had 27 a couple of years ago while he was at Missouri against Mississippi State. Chiozza rises up. Tilly went over the back, and he's going to be called for the foul. And that is number 5 on Tilly.
That's huge. That is huge. Now, Hachimura, I would assume, would have to be the guy coming in. Yeah, here he comes. I don't know how anybody's arguing. That's a foul. Went over the back.
Yep.
Gonzaga's a Catholic school, right?
Yes.
A lot of Catholics know how to swear.
It's a good Jesuit school there in Spokane.
Yeah, I know it is.
Be easy.
Including me.
Chiozza answers with a couple of free throws, tied once again. Nelson traveled.
Yeah, he did too. Nelson really struggling.
12th team turnover for the Zags tonight and for Coach Few.
It's going up.
Boy, that has been a hot spot in that corner. Not that time, though, for Allen.
Boy, he had it halfway down. Gonzaga was kind of walking back, and Chiozza saw it and threw it ahead and halfway down.
Here goes Williams and Perkins again. Kispert turned his ankle, and he traveled.
He did. He skidded. He came to a jump stop, and he skidded. And next thing you know, again, same thing. Gonzaga's complaining, and there's 3.
Wow. And if not for the crowd, I don't think the Zags would have reacted defensively at all.
No, that was 2 times in a row. I don't whether they're complaining or they're looking at their coach or what they're doing, but that was twice in a row. One time right side. Look at them. They're hanging out instead of sprinting back, and Florida's playing. That's twice in a row. Once on the right side, that time on the left side.
Off of travels both times. Chiozza now picks up his 4th foul, and Williams makes him pay. That's an even 30 for the big left-hander.
He may get 40 if this thing keeps going. I'm going to him every possession.
Hudson for 2. Hachimura, the rebound for the Zags, who can reclaim the lead. Silas Melson hangs in the air, draws the contact, and he'll have a chance for three.
First space Melson has got. First time he's had any room. See how the lane is wide open? First time. Bad call for the and one. Guy went straight up. But Melson's strong enough to finish in traffic. Great play by Melson.
And so Portland's own number 0 for the Zags. Young man out of Jefferson High School, the former Democrat, with a chance for a three-point play.
Telling you, Igor's got to get something done. He's a fifth-year senior playing against a freshman, high-octane game.
Igor gives it up back to Chiozza for three. Florida 86-85. Perkins got to the bucket but couldn't finish. Kayvon Allen, tough spot. And the foul against Williams, who buries his head in his hands.
You got to make people uncomfortable, Doug. You just can't let good players be comfortable. See how comfortable he is stepping into that? And you put a hand up. Josh Perkins was late, and that hand just acts as the end of a gun, the sight of a gun. It's all it does is kind of organize your eyes. You got to have your hands up early against a guy that's a shooter.
17 points, 10 assists for Chiozza, but he's playing with 4 fouls. It's a 3-shot foul. Well, you know, Kayvon Allen is the second most accurate foul shooter in the history of Florida Gators basketball.
Torian Green?
You know what? I didn't write it down. I'm not sure. But from that stroke, you can see why he makes him at about 86%.
Oh, yeah. I'd say Nelson, Torian Green. Crazy Vernon Maxwell.
Who you lit up?
Killed him.
Perfect 3 for 3. The Gators stretch the lead to 4.
I like right here, you mentioned it, Chiozza with 4 fouls. Got to have him in on offense. So you bring in the freshman Ballard, who is not afraid either, and it gives him some great experience as well. A little more length against Perkins.
Now on the switch, it's Stone guarding Perkins. And he likes this matchup. Perkins going to go.
Yeah, good defense by Stone, though.
Under 2 minutes in OT.
Got to get it to William. There you go.
And the old left-hander right to the bucket and right to the free throw line.
Well, he's disappointed in himself because he made a nice move. They took away his left hand, and he switched it over to the right and just didn't get it over the rim. He knows he should have had a three-point play. Watch, he switches it over, and that's a shot that he has. And then he was disgusted with himself after.
Chiozza back in with the 4 fouls. Back to the bench, Ballard. Big possession defensively here for the Zags.
Can't foul. Can't bail him out with a foul. Got to keep your man in front of you. Easier said than done.
Hudson
That's good
Watson.
defense. That is great defense right there by Melson. He did exactly what we said. You keep your own man in front of you and make him make a tough shot.
Perkins down the left side of the lane again, tips it back up and in.
What a play. He had Stone, so he went. Got Stone off balance, was able to get a fingertip in there, tip it.
Allen, no. Wow. Zags got one stop, almost got the second, but then the foul on the rebound.
You can tell the crowd's already seen this rebound. Let's see. Well, I don't know whether that's a foul. Obviously it is because they called it, but anytime you extend your arm, they're going to call a foul. They just are, and particularly when it's right in front of an official. I personally, you play on.
How do you box out without extending your arm?
Well, you move your feet and you throw your rear end into the legs, and you can keep your elbow extended, but not your arm extended. And once you move it out like that, referees are trained to call foul. I don't like it, but that's the move.
Perkins looks up at the clock. Let's fire from long range, and we're tied once again, 91 apiece. Hudson.
Foul. That is a foul. Everybody's going to boo, but that's a foul.
Yeah, that was pretty clear.
Yes. Doug, you said it, right? You said he looked up at the clock, saw a three-point game, measured up Stone, as Scott Van Pelt says, in his eye hole, and this is a foul. Shot goes up, 75% rebound opposite. We missed it there, but
no doubt about it.
He pushed off.
Do you think Perkins was also processing 2 for 1?
No, I don't. I think he thought we're down 3. I'm going to make a bucket.
The sophomore gets 1 of 2. The Gators back up 1.
I'm telling you, he gives the ball up. I am not letting Perkins get it back, and I'm doubling from Hachimura and making him make a shot. Yeah, see, Chioza, he's not letting him get it back. You stay on top of him.
Time's a wasting if you want to get it back to your point guard. Instead, they get it to Williams.
You got to double. There you go. They doubled.
Gonzaga will keep with 5 on the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Doug. I get excited. But doubling from Melson there isn't bad because it's not a long recovery. It was a close recovery.
Timeout called by the Zags. But you were okay with where the Zags ultimately got the ball there.
You have to. Right block is where Williams is really comfortable because he likes to turn into the lane with his left hand. Now, when you take that away, he'll spin back. The key defensively, Doug, is knowing where your help is coming from. So what Mike White and his staff have to do is say, all right, we're going to double on the inside shoulder or we're going to double on the outside shoulder. So what happens then is you box the man in. If we say we're going to double on the inside shoulder, that's his right shoulder on the left block. So the defender on Williams jumps to the left shoulder.
Well, let's show how we got here. End of regulation. It was nip and tuck right to the end.
We got here by guys making fantastic plays. I mean, just back and forth, up and down we go. And Melson just took it down the lane and knocked it in. And then right here, Chioza, man. And Perkins down 3 says, wait a second. It's just a great game. It's just players playing hard, great crowd, shot making.
And Dan, during that stoppage, the officials went to replay to reaffirm the call on the floor, and it stands with this possession. So 5 seconds remain on the shot clock for the Zags, who will inbound with Silas Melson on the baseline.
You play inside out here, meaning you cannot miss a switch to somebody going away from the basket and let a screener slip. They're going to try to run Williams over the top and Perkins towards the ball side corner. Here goes Perkins. And there's Williams.
Timeout, Gonzaga.
That's what they tried to do, but what they have to do is they got to get Hachimura out of there. There was too many people in the way. Hachimura, when Perkins went to the corner, needed to come the opposite corner and clear out some space.
Well, the scoreboard said the Zags had no timeouts left, and so the Florida bench is questioning, did the Zags have one? But during the review on that last stoppage, they were not charged with a timeout. So they had that 30-second timeout to use.
It's a good officiating crew. Really good officiating. This is a well-officiated game. All right.
So they'll do it all over again, and now the Zags truly have no timeouts.
You see, they got Hashimura out of there. So now you have a little space on the baseline, but I'm telling you, you can't let somebody slip and get your bucket. I believe Perkins is going to try to come off a double here. There's one, there's two, here comes three, and a slip, and they played it well. Can't leave him.
Williams
for
the Chioza with 10 seconds on the clock. Euro steps, and he's got the Gators back on top. And that is foul number 5 on Perkins.
What a shot. Williams, they allowed him to go one-on-one in the post. You can't. 5 seconds, you got to stay with the double and make somebody make a jump shot. Like, watch right here. Here's a double, and then they leave. And there is no defense for this kid tonight. Then on the other end, Chioza, my goodness, just pushed, read, sprinted, Euro step, and one. Perkins out, Chioza to the line.
No timeouts for the Zags. They've got to go with 8 seconds left in overtime.
Ball screen, go to the rim.
Milson to the bucket. Oh, he puts it in. And the foul. Can this game get any better?
What a great play by Melson. Jonathan Williams came up and set a ball screen, and Melson's second time in the clutch. The lane opened up, and he was able to finish with a left hand with.
Nelson is 3 for 3 from the line.
Oh, that's a walk. That's a walk. They're going to get the ball. Yes, they're going to get the ball at their offensive end. Igor Travel. Great call right there.
You and Mike Stevens were all over it.
I tell you what, they're going to look at this, and I promise you're going to put some time back on the clock, and Gonzaga is going to have to have a chance to win it from right in front of Mark Few.
Wow.
How does our stage manager, Stacy, not watch TV? Watch
really?
this. Short. Here's the walk. The guy didn't have the guts to call it against Chris Webber in '93. But Mike Stevens had the guts here to call it against Igor. 2, 3. I mean, what are you doing? Where'd the whistle blow?
I mean, it should be stopped when his left foot hit the floor. No. That's when the travel occurred, right?
Yeah, but you got to wait for the call to be made.
Yep.
So I would say maybe 0.7, at the most 0.9, I would think.
And what's the minimum you need to catch and shoot?
7. They can get a great look here. And I believe Jonathan Williams' right block will be involved.
And in the Gators huddle, what are you telling your guys?
Nobody slips to the basket. You play inside out. If you're going to switch, which is dangerous, you switch. And now they've got Gak in there, I assume, to play against Jonathan Williams.
And they're going to the baseline to inbound.
Yeah. This is the new rule where you build a triangle depending on where the ball is. So last year it might have gone out on the side. Now it's under the basket. You cannot let anybody slip to the rim. Gak on the ball.
For the win.
Boy, did Chioza get lucky.
Yeah.
He turned his head, watched what was going on. wow.
Well, they gave Melson another opportunity to play the hero. Perhaps he'll get another shot in a second overtime.
Chiozza, oh, man. This is bad business right here. Watch. Chiozza got caught inside and wide open look. Not close, but still.
Now, Dan, in our pregame production meeting about 7 hours ago, I'm not going to name names, but somebody mentioned 7 overtimes. Wasn't me.
I hope we do it. I've got nowhere to be. What do we got to do?
You know, I did a 7 overtime football game this year. It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
I hope we have it. I mean, this is so much fun.
We might still be going when folks on the East Coast are waking up.
Yeah, a lot of guys I know just getting in.
13 points combined in the last minute of overtime.
Well, you've got to understand that late in the game, you got to keep people in front of you. And nobody has been able on either team to keep anybody in front of them. They just haven't been able to. And when they haven't been able to, guys have done a fantastic job. Melson, Chiozza, we've seen Perkins finish at the rim.
And you still don't think it's reasonable to say that fatigue plays a role at all?
No. Everybody wants to play it. No, absolutely not. Now, if I were a normal media guy, oh yeah, but these kids are so jacked to be playing in this now. Are they going to be tired about a half hour after? Sure, but they should be. That's how you play. You play to exhaustion, take a nap, come out and play tomorrow. It's great. Or Sunday, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Zags.
Got to go inside. Got to be good enough to throw it inside.
Williams. Big height advantage. He gets tied out by bringing the ball down, and the possession arrow belongs to Florida.
That was great defense. The double came when Williams started dribbling. Then the double was tight enough to Williams that he couldn't get the ball out of there. Yeah, good call.
Another
really
travel.
good call. Think about what they're doing here in Florida. Florida is in the second overtime. Why? Or excuse me, without Igor playing at all.
Yeah.
And he's a 20-point-a-night guy.
Kulichov, 4 points on 1 of 9 shooting.
You get the feeling that Hachimura may hit a shot here that's big. They're playing off him pretty good. Maybe not on this possession, but late in the game.
He sets the ball screen for Melson. Hachimura's got a big size advantage on the post. Williams instead shoots over the top and very nearly got the bounce.
Great block out and rebound by Stone.
Chiozza behind his back, hangs in the air, banks it home.
How good was that? There was traffic and then there wasn't. Great players. Pete Newell told me this a long time ago, the former Olympic / NCAA champion. Great players make others go away on the offensive end, and Chiozza made everybody go away.
He has a new career high. Chiozza does with 22.
Good double by Igor. You have to double. You have to double. If you give up a 3 to Norvell, fine. You give up a 3, but you have to double. Sure.
Silas Melson spins into the lane, hangs in the air. Numbers for Florida. Allen kept his foot on the floor. Hudson's not shy. He's going to take that shot and bury it.
How about that ball movement? The ball touched everybody's hands. The ball didn't stay aside, and Hudson just lifted up and drilled it. Got to go into Williams. And you got to double here from somebody. I think you double from Hachimura with Kulichov.
The 32 for Hudson matches his career high. And that ball hit up above the backboard, and so go back to the Gators for possession.
Everybody touching it. Everybody just whip it around a little bit. Boom, boom, lift up, drill it. What a shot.
He is shot ready at all times.
Hashimura is 6'8", long arm, strong, in his face, didn't matter.
Here is Stone. Kulichov. Chioza. 3 more.
How about that pass and shot? Kulichov went into the lane, spun, and no-look flip pass back to Chioza, who is an All-American tonight and might be an All-American all year long.
You know, it may have taken 2 overtimes, but the Gators were going to get to the century mark tonight again.
That's what they do. What a game.
4th time in 5 games this year, Florida has gotten to triple digits.
Look at that. Little no-look flip out to Chioza, who is just on fire.
The Gators have options.
You know, it's one thing for a team to be lazy defensively. It's another thing for a team to kind of contest shots. But Gonzaga is fast defensively, contesting every shot. Those last 2 threes were under big-time duress, and they flipped them in like they were in the park.
Hudson and Chioza, like they've been doing it their entire life.
Incredible. So much fun.
Chioza's got a career high with 25. Hudson with 32. Do the Bulldogs have one more answer in them? Well, that'll work.
Mark Few hasn't won 82% of his games by not knowing what to do and how to get a bucket. Just a little handoff action. Norvell Jr. flying to the rim.
His first 2 points. Hudson will shoot and make it every single time.
And he did it expressionless.
Williams on the offensive glass.
Can't forget Williams.
Keeps. Well, there's Hudson with the reach around foul.
The transfer from Virginia Tech just off a downscreen. There was a late switch there. The freshman Kispert missed the switch. You have to switch to take away the pass. You cannot switch after the fact in this game.
The Gators came into this game, Dan, shooting 47% as a team from 3-point range. They are right on that number again.
Look at that second half. 8 for 12. You're going to have to think about fouling here. It's a 6-point game. It's only 2 possessions. I'm not saying you do it. You certainly pressure. But the guard play pretty good for Florida. They're going to be able to get this under a minute. You go with about a minute to go on the clock.
And as a team, the Gators shoot at 77% from the line. So if you choose to foul, you don't have any good options.
One thing you have to do is Hudson has to rotate back here.
Chioza very nearly threw it down, and he's down on the floor in pain. Out of bounds. Gonzaga will keep it. Your 6-foot point guard came flying in and got above the rim with a long way to fall.
Doug, incredible. I mean, incredible. He came across the court. Watch this. He comes out of nowhere, takes it outside of his area, and tries to dunk it. And he's tough on tough, too.
He got up walking a little bit like George Jefferson, a little Sherman Hemsley, but he's going to tough through it.
Now, you cannot forget about Williams if you are. There you go. Now drive it and get fouled and get an and one.
Williams. 39 points.
You better foul. Once they get across half court, you better foul.
Tried to give it up, Norvell did. No call. And now Coach Few tells Jones to go get him. Well, I think we've had ourselves the best game of the night. Both teams in triple digits. Coming up on our 50th minute of basketball. And look who's made his way back over from next door, the namesake of the Phil Knight Invitation.
You have to go to the rim here. You have to. You cannot forget Williams here. Go to the rim.
Nelson.
But what a block. What a block out of nowhere. Hudson just came over and got a piece of it. What a play by Jalen Hudson. Oh, man. Watch this. Here he comes. Look at that extension. Great defense. Just got a little piece of it.
We are 15 hours into today's second day action of the PK80.
Too bad this isn't every year. This is a great event. Unbelievable teams. The Zags fans showed up here. Doug, this was a home game for Gonzaga, and you've got to credit Florida with being not only really, really good, but really tough to handle the environment and the punches thrown at them by a terrific Gonzaga team.
Hudson has 35. Chiozza has 26, both new career highs. Allen's got 20. Again, Kulichov only 4.
That's amazing. You know, he's been so good this year. But I mean, you can't give enough credit to Chiozza in this game. You just can't. Allen, Hudson, Stone playing as a 5-man for a lot of the game. Look at Chiozza.
He has given everything his body can give.
You will not see a better performance than Chiozza all year long. You just won't. Because you're right. He's given his body, his heart, his soul. He's given everything you could possibly give to win a basketball game for his team, his university.
Big three, 10 seconds. Still on the clock, and the Zags are still alive. I think Chris Chiozza may have been thinking, I'm sitting on the bench, boys, bring this one home. He's back at the scores table having to come back in.
Yeah, he was one miss away. You know, Kitzler just shot it from, I don't know, Spokane. I don't know what's called, Beaverton.
There you go. You're thinking about Nike.
Yeah.
You're going to Nike Town tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to take my crew and spend a ton of money, but he shot it from deep. One miss, the game is over.
Right.
Now you've got to inbound the ball, make some free throws. That's a tough freshman. That is a tough, tough freshman.
Kispert's from Edmonds, Washington, and he has had a very good night. Allen is fouled. A couple of seconds off the clock. And so the junior, first team All-SEC guard, will head to the free throw line. Fourth foul on Melson. And the folks from Gainesville in the stands starting to make a little more noise.
What a poised team. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it again, both teams. I mean, you know, they lost. Gonzaga's upset. They lost. I get it. But, man, do they play well.
Melson. Hachimura. And in a game for the ages, the Florida Gators in double overtime outlast the Gonzaga Bulldogs 111-105 to advance to face Duke in the championship on Sunday.
You said it, game for the ages. Early season basketball, late season basketball, I don't care. This was a great game played by kids giving their absolute all, their hearts, their souls. Fantastic effort, both teams.
You can see it on the faces. These guys are exhausted. Chiozza, Perkins, Melson, Williams, Hudson.
Allen played 46 minutes. Chiozza played 46 minutes. 44 minutes for Kulichov. 44 minutes for Williams. Kispert, 46 minutes. These are kids that just gave absolutely everything, and a fan base for the Zags that gave everything too. But Florida too poised, too skilled, too tough.
Wow. You can see the emotion. Coach White thanking his senior point guard. And we can update the bracket now. It'll be Duke and Florida, #1 in the nation versus #7 at 10:30 Eastern Sunday for the Motion Bracket Championship.
Yeah, and that is must-see TV. Absolutely must-see TV. That'll be in the hundreds as well.
Let's go over to Jeff with Jalen Hudson.
Jalen, I don't know how you sum that up in words. 35 points, double overtime win. What was that game like?
Man, it was all about stops. I mean, they're a great team. They won a lot of runs. It was just about getting stops, honestly. We hit some big shots down the stretch, but it was really just about getting stops.
Your teammate, Chris Chiozza, couldn't come over and do this interview because your trainer took him back to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
What type of performance did he put on?
Man, he was everything. He was everything from defense to assisting to rebounding. I think he had more rebounds than me. Coach White going to be on me for that. He did everything. He did everything. Chris Chiozza did everything, man.
Next up, Duke. How much do you need this day off?
Woo. I don't know. I wish we could play tomorrow, honestly. I got some juices flowing right now, but we're going to be ready for him. Coach White going to make sure we're ready for him.
Thanks a lot, Jalen.
I'm telling you, is it March or is it November?
Told you kids didn't need a rest. They want to play again. When you win and you play in a game like this, you're so fired up, you can't wait to play again.
What an absolute pleasure to be here. Our final score in double overtime, 111-105. For Dan Dockich and our entire production crew, I'm Doug Sherman. For a wrap-up of our game, turn over to SportsCenter on ESPN. Now let's send it to the Fantasy Show on ESPN2.